There are 51 national parks in the continental United States, 46 of which are accessible year-round entirely by car. I'm going to find out if it's possible to visit all of them in just 100 days. Here are the rules. I have exactly 100 days so that I'm able to get back home in time for Thanksgiving. I've saved up $8,000 that I'm able to spend on this entire trip, and that's everything. That is gas, that's food, anything you can think of. And not only do I have to visit each of the parks, but I also will have 3 objectives at each park to make sure that I properly enjoy them. Objective number 1 is simple: go for a hike. I want to be able to say that I've hiked in every single national park in the continental United States. Objective number 2 is to make a friend at every park that I go to. And finally, number 3, the mystery objective. We'll get more into that later. But I guess I should introduce you to my one companion on this trip. Florence the Jeep. Florence is a 2015 Jeep Cherokee with 146,000 miles on her. She's got some bumps, she's got some bruises, some scrapes and scratches. But if anyone can do it, it's Florence the Jeep. For the first leg of this journey, I do have 12 hours of driving ahead of me, so it's time I hit the road. Culver's one last time before I leave home. Saying my final goodbyes. So today's drive is one of the longest drives in this entire trip, honestly, because we're literally crossing 2 states. So I'm already at the point where I've hit the daily amount of money I can spend on pretty much just gas. So the first park we're going to is going to be Theodore Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota. This is an exciting one for me. It's somewhere I've never been before. They got wild bison, horses, elk, prairie dogs. Should be an adventure. So I did find an actual campsite, so I could pitch a tent. I could put up my hammock. Or good morning. Last night did prove to be a bit of a difficult sleeping situation. It did even, in the middle of the night last night, start hailing, so very good thing I opted not to pitch a tent or anything, because I would have died. We made it. Prairie dog right there. Prairie dog right there. There's another one right there. Probably one in there. There's a lot of prairie dogs here. It's kind of crazy. Also, don't make fun of me because I haven't changed my clothes in a day. Well, this is Teddy Roosevelt National Park. Opened up in the 80s, about a century after Theodore Roosevelt came here for the first time. I was reading the little pamphlet they gave me. Apparently, he came here for the first time when he was my age, when he was 24. He credits that trip for the birth of his love for conservation and everything. So we have this park to thank for a lot of the efforts he did to save some of our most sacred places in the country. So it's pretty cool. Now that we are officially here, it's time you learn about the mystery objective. Every park that I go to, I'm going to have one unique task to really push myself out of my comfort zone. This one, I'm going to be reading Teddy Roosevelt's entire autobiography by the time I leave. Now, I do have a little trick up my sleeve, which is that there is a free audiobook on YouTube. So the entire drive here, and honestly a few days before the trip, I've been listening to it. I'm already about 3/4 of the way done, but this is a really thick book, and I'm a very slow reader, so this is a challenge for me. But yeah, maybe I can find a quiet place to put a towel down, read my book, maybe watch some Instagram reels. God, I love reels so much. It's kind of insane how many little mounds there are. There's got to be at least like 12, one more over there. I have been considering objective 2 as well, which is make a friend. I'm not going to lie, on my drive in here, I did already stop to look at some prairie dogs, and I immediately made like 2 friends. I'm worried that it's not enough of a challenge because I'm just going to be yapping as long as I'm caffeinated, so we'll see. Maybe I'll pivot. Exactly a 1-mile hike, not too bad for the first one. I usually don't care too much about wildlife, when I'm hiking. Like usually I'm in it for like the scenic views, the lookout spot at the end of the hike, you know. But put me in a place like this. Bunch of prairie dogs everywhere. Prairie dogs are so goated. All right, I'm gonna be changing the rules a little bit. Initially when I was planning this trip, it was like maybe 5-6 months ago, and I was a very different person back then. I struggled quite a bit to just go up to strangers and talk to them and make friends in new places and stuff, but literally the first time I stop my car, first time I get out, I go up and start talking to people. I don't know what's happened to me over the last 6 months, but it is my instinct now to just yap. Maybe it's just when I'm caffeinated, I don't know what's going on, but at the end of the day, it's not difficult for me to do anymore. It's not challenging. And the entire point of this whole journey is to push myself out of my comfort zone. The new second objective at each national park is to find a certain kind of wildlife. Given that though, it does mean that for this video, we're already 2/3 of the way there. We have gone for a hike, we have found some unique wildlife, but number 3, we gotta finish that book. Found this cool rock. Easily one of the top 10 rocks. As I've been listening to this book while I hike, Teddy's kind of made it clear that he had a certain philosophy towards fearlessness and how even the bravest people really do have a lot of fear. And he talks about how the bravest people aren't those who lack fear, but are those who just learn to live with it and push through it. And I've been thinking about that a lot. Like this whole trip, this whole idea is terrifying to me. Y'all, I'm so confused. I found a new campground, right? A little closer to the north entrance of the park for tomorrow. It's not that late, it's like 5:30, but I figure I stopped driving last night at around 10:30. Like, I want to actually have a little bit of time to rest because didn't sleep well last night or the night before, honestly. So I come to this place, and I just gotta show you. Not only is it gorgeous, but it has a bathroom. Apparently there's like drinkable water as well. It is swelteringly hot. It's 86 degrees out, so I'm kind of dying on that front, but nobody else is here. Like, I have this completely to myself. And it's only like a 15-minute drive to get to the park tomorrow. So I guess I'm actually gonna pitch a tent and just have a nice, peaceful night. Just watching the sunset up on this rock right now. Kind of awesome. The solitude of this trip is really starting to hit though. Like, I have some incredible friendships back home right now. And it worked out where this was the time in my life where if I was ever gonna make this trip, this would be the time. So I kind of just had to go, but it sucks saying goodbye, you know? Even if you're off to literally live your dream. Literally every time someone has ever asked me, Corbin, if you won the lottery, what would you do? This is my answer. But I didn't know it would be this lonely. Good morning. I gotta say, sleeping in that tent, far better than sleeping in the car. But today is day 3. Today we're gonna go to the north side of the park and then also Elkhorn. We'll get to see all the other little bits before we head out, and we got a book to finish. Let's go. I'm just driving along through the park and then I stop and see this. They're kind of surrounding me now. Like, I can't even get out if I wanted to. Look at him. Look at him go. We have a bit of a problem. Well, this is not ideal, I can't even lie. I gotta say, getting a flat tire 3 days into this trip, not too great that happened, but on the bright side, I can't really think of a better place to break down. Look at that. Beautiful. I could do without this though. So now we're faced with a tricky choice. I had just finished exploring the north side of Teddy Roosevelt Park when that happened, and I was on my way to Elkhorn. It has Teddy Roosevelt's cabin where he stayed when he lived here back in the 1880s, but it's just a cabin, and I'm a little bit worried that if I don't deal with this right away and get that tire patched, I'm gonna get stranded again. So we're not gonna mess around with a bunch of old logs, and we're gonna go find a way to patch that tire.
It's working. I could be a mechanic. I'm the smartest man to have ever lived. I feel so masculine right now. I don't feel that way a lot.
So Theodore Roosevelt National Park proved to be a bit of a challenging one with, being completely out on my own, having to change my tire, never having been in that situation before. In the burning heat, it was like 90 degrees. It brought me back to that book. Throughout the book, Teddy was talking about courage and how courage isn't the absence of fear, but the ability to persevere through it. And I think that's what this park taught me. All right, I'm not gonna lie, that's not how I thought the day would go. I really wanted to get this shot in the park, in Teddy Roosevelt, but gotta do what you gotta do. Huge shout out to this Walmart in Dickinson, North Dakota. Absolutely saved me. It did set me back $110, but for old Flo, you gotta make it happen. One final thing I wanna do for each of these parks is I wanna give them a ranking. I'm gonna put Teddy Roosevelt National Park in B tier. It was a good park, but compared to some of the others I've been to, like Yosemite, Redwoods, there's a sort of quiet beauty to it, but sometimes you just want those crazy views, I gotta hit the road. I will see you in the Badlands.